What's up, my dudes? I went live. Got BDT Todd over there doing some stuff. Hopefully you guys can see some stuff. We're just getting settled here, my dudes. Is that loud from an A2000? No, that A2000 is not loud. That is for the L7 that's right there on the other side of this window. Let me go over here and shut this door. They can hear the L7. There we go. See if we can close it down some, my dudes. Hopefully that made it a little quieter. Let's see here. See if I can pivot this around here. Camera, what's up? What's up, my dudes? How's it going? BT Todd and I are here, busy AF, working on stuff, and I was like, I haven't had a live stream with you guys in a bit, and a lot of the folks, some content creators and folks are down at Bitcoin Miami. We were supposed to be there, but we had a container show up, so we have been busy getting that stuff done and ready. But I also wanted to get through some of the testing and just kind of go through this A2000, because we're gonna, as we're adjusting the GPU side of the farm with the A4000s and 5000s, there is some opportunity on some of these 2000s. I just don't like the price point right now. We're trying to work through that, but I want to do some other testing. We've only done ETH testing with it tonight. I'm going to do some of the other testing, like with Raven and Flux and all that. So if I was going to do that, why not go live with you guys? So that's why we're going to take that live, take you guys through it. A lot of folks haven't seen the new shop and stuff. I mean, you guys can see the glow going on in the background with our lighting and stuff. It's pretty cool. And this is the shop. The boys are gone right now, but we're trying to get things organized. Working on certification for the guys to get certified on the Bitmain stuff, to be able to work on that. And we're already doing GPU stuff for folks, repairing, restoring. Anytime there's kind of a pullback, people kind of tend to use that time to maintenance their machines. And that's a good effort. And some people are just like, I've been doing it for a bit and I think I'm out, and then some people want to dip, and that's okay too. And if they want to maximize the return of their GPUs, doing a full clean job on them, replacing thermal pads, all that kind of fun stuff is something we do and we recommend. If you learn how or know how to do, you do it yourself. So we have different thermal paste and pads. You guys can see the crown knot, that's the thermal grease we use. Make sure we don't electrocute anything. Got a few pads. We had to order a whole bunch of more pads. We ran through stuff, but different 3M style pads, some stuff that's already pre-cut, that kind of stuff. Different sizes. We got a caliper to measure stuff, that kind of thing. So let's go through. We got some folks on here. So right now, one of the questions is the A2000 here. You guys can see this little guy running right here. So A2000 running. Oop, it flew on us. Little fan screaming. And right now what I'm measuring, so this is only hooked up to this meter, and it is going from this riser. So the power from the 850 plugs into this box, and this box plugs into the riser, which allows us to trap the power just on this GPU. And then this is plugged into the whole machine, which allows us to see, kind of what's going on with the machine. And we can see right now it's kind of bouncing around between 90 to 100 for the full system. So it's the GPU plus what's going on with the whole system here. So it gives us kind of an idea of what's going on in this whole machine. And this machine shouldn't be taking 50 some odd watts. So there's a little weirdness going on with the meter, I think, maybe. Because this is showing 47 watts coming out of the riser. There's nothing obviously coming out of the GPU because there's no 8-pin or 6 pins. So it's only measuring what's out of that riser. And if I measure other cards and other risers, I mean, it's been pretty accurate of what its pull is. So somewhere in here, we're like missing 10 watts or so, because this thing idles. I mean, whenever it's on a load, we'll always get, you know, about 37 watts to 40 watts, which 46.5 plus 30 something's like more around 70, maybe 80. So I'm trying to reconcile the 11 to 12 to 15 watts that's kind of spiking through there. And what could be happening is this thing, you see it dips down to 90, and then this one dips, this one's staying pretty solid. What I'm wondering is if this one's not catching those arcs, the differences here. And this should be going to like 55 to 60 watts, not 46. But we have another meter that I was going to play around with, but I haven't really learned the meter yet, where I can actually put it around this cable here and measure directly and get some level of a capture to see if I'm getting the same resistance. So we'll see. But bottom line, if this card actually was only pulling 47 watts, then that's unbelievable. Like, it's crazy. So right now you guys can see its hash rate on ETH. And those settings right now, let me bring those up. Let's do this here. The simple mining settings that we're running right now. You guys can see that. It's about 1,000 on the core, 3,300 in the memory. Now we can kick the memory up some. Try to take this to like 35. Let's do 35 here. And save that. And then we should see it come and reset that. And what's going on there. We can try different miners too, but this thing bottom line is around 42 mega hash in total. While that's spinning up, let's do a little venture over here. I got some other stuff going on here. So this is the other thing that we were gonna do. As you guys can see, we got the 3090 Ti here. And this is still happening. It's just been a work in progress for folks while we're waiting for that to come up. So we were able to get our cabling now for the actual cameras in place. And you can see up here, we're trying to run everything up into the ceiling. So let's see if we can get a better shot of that. So you can see we got little passers for the wires. And we got power up there. And then that comes down for the scissor lift thing to pull down the lighting. And then we're gonna have another camera right here that we're wiring up and getting ready. And then that sends a pass through down below here. So then when I'm having a video with you guys on the smart board, let me flip this around, I'll be able to have a camera pointed at me here. So when we're on the smart board, you guys will see me kind of like so. So when I'm doing something here, you'll be able to see that screen plus me being able to talk to you and you won't have to look at me from the back when I'm on that other camera. So that's the kind of stuff we got going on here. That's why there's still scaffolding and stuff in here. So we're trying to get this place set up here where we can have that discussion and go through some cool stuff with you guys. And we want to try this guy out at some point here. At least do an unboxing. Got a couple different setups here. And that's it, my dudes. Let me flip this around again. Go back, see what this thing's still at 40 and some change, and we didn't really change the power on it. So let's do some testing. Let's see what the Raven does. Let's see what that kind of stuff does. I'll leave this right here for right now. Let's see if we can get this into the mix too. if I can get them both in the frame. Probably not. Thanks, Chump Change. What's a smart board cost? Well, we got the flagship, and the flagship's about $12,000. You can find them sometimes used a little cheaper, probably around $9 grand. But if you want a brand new one with all the other features and everything unlocked and everything, you're gonna spend about 12 G's. Let's switch this thing over to Ravencoin. And let's see what this little guy does here. So this is Ravencoin. So we saw 40 to 42 mega hash. If you really push the card up to like 3,800 on the memory, it really puts a strain on that little one. I know the 12 gig A2000s are doing a little better. They can get up to 44 mega hash. But let's take a look here. So DAG pass, we're still sitting at 100. Now I haven't changed the memory. The memory's setting at 3,500. The core is still setting at 1,000, and we'll see. So right now it's at 13.7. We're gonna play around with this. We're gonna let it go for a minute and see what it can do. Now it says 62 watts there. We're at, again, this is still showing 47, 46. And again, we're going to plug another GPU in here in a minute and just see the difference. So 13.7. Will you try the 3090 Ti today? Probably. It's up to how many people we have, and if people really want to see the 3090 Ti, we can unbox it and plug it into this. You guys want to see it on the meter? The 3090 Ti, that is. I'll have to do some trickery because of the, I think that uses maybe 4 connectors. So it looks like Raven's holding right around 13.7 right now for that 70 watts. Meter still shows the power draw on it at only 48, even though the software is saying that it is 47. So let's try. I'm gonna try one thing with Raven. I'm gonna bump it up to the max core. So we're at full TDP, but I wanna step the core up to 1200. And let's take a look at this. So we're gonna push the core to 1200 now and 3500 memory, so you guys can see the settings again. Oh, spinning on us. Hold on. Whoop. There's the core and the memory. So it looks like it's not really increasing the mega hash. But we'll let it chew for a second. I'd really like to see these A2000s at their original MSRP launch price, which should have been around that $399 to $400. You building something fun?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. BBT Todd walks in and says, I'm building something Dr. Frankenstein in the house. Is it something we're going to want to see?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, well, I'll let you build it, and then we'll take a look. We'll walk in there and see what he's building. 13.6 right now. So I did the bump to 1200 did absolutely nothing besides use more power and not give us more mega hash. Let's drop this down to 852, which I think is the lower bound of this card. Actually, let's go to 900 core, and let's take it down to 3200 memory. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm taking this down here to 900 core, 3200 memory. I'm saving it. I'm using simple mining right now to do a lot of my testing here. Just because I can quickly change stuff. I don't have to sit there and flip through flight sheets and stuff on Hive. So I can just on demand make quick changes with simple mining. That's why I like using simple mining for a lot of my quick testing. It's just a faster test for me. I'm moving this over so you guys can see. So again, we're dropping it down to 900. So what we're going to try to do is peel this down some and then not lose anything when it comes to performance at a fall possible. I want to see how efficient we can get it down. Look at this. We went up, my dudes. We're using less power and we went up. That's the way we want to see it. Our efficiency now is not 200 kilohash per watt, it's 241. And it says we're using 57 watts of power for the same hash rate. That's what we're looking for. We want to see if we can breach 14 and push this more up to around 300 on Raven. All right, hot wires coming back up a little bit. And we're still sitting at that 13.79. I'm gonna take it down even further. We're gonna go to 2800 memory on this. We're gonna take this down to 800 core. So now we're setting at 800 and 2800, still 70 TDP on Raven. Let's see what we get. Still using a lot of power, or still using about the same amount of power. What I'm gonna do is keep dropping it until I start peeling some power off of it. And actually I'm gonna bring some power. I think we're good there. Let's actually pull this power down to 60 power limit. So we're getting roughly the same thing. So I'm actually just gonna starve it for some power. I'm gonna see how big 10 watts affect it. Oh, we stole a lot of hash rate. We stole 3 there. It needs the power. Let's see where this stabilizes at. Efficiency's way below 200. So we don't want to do the core dropped all the way to 600 without that power. You see, so here's where we're losing it. This core is set to 800, but it's only down to 600 because we're starving it for power. Let's go to 67 watts. Let's bring it up 7 watts and see what happens. See if we get our 800 restored there. So 67 watts, 800, 2800 memory offset. Alex says just try to 100 core and stock memory. And I'm assuming full TDP. That's 1370. $1,200. There we go. Let's try it. Definitely using a little more power. I haven't been seeing it in upper triple digits there for a second. And that's really on that DAG load. Yeah, but it's up to 14. So it's close to 14 mega hash on Raven. And this is full system, my dudes. So, take off about 35 to 40 watts off of this, and that's what you're looking at. You're looking, this is just the GPU riser. What's the temperature limits of 90, 120 mean? The temperature limits on that is the core cannot exceed 90 Celsius and the junction temperature cannot exceed 120 C. So the memory junction temperature, you don't want it higher than 120 C. Let's try. Here go. Yeah, Magic, most things won't go that high. They'll throttle hard after they hit about 111 C, 112 C. But yeah, crazy stuff can happen sometimes, especially when people redo their pads and they don't do them right. Yeah, T-junction's your memory controller junction temperature. And they usually average around 85 to 100 C. It's pretty normal for most things. So we're looking at just under 100 mega hash. So 97.51 mega hash right now for 66 watts on the card. It looks like the system's pulling still about 100 and the riser's pulling 45.6. Let's take a quick check on Ethereum Classic. Should be about the same thing. We can try a real quick one with ETC Classic. It doesn't really suffer from any kind of memory issues or anything like that, but it doesn't need as much memory as Ethereum, but are 70% or 70 core and 100 memory acceptable thermals to RTX? I mean, it's about 4 to 8 degrees higher than I like to have them on the memory junction temperature, but it's still stable. It's like about 41 right now with 3000 on the memory. If we bump that up to, let's say, 3600 on the memory and apply that, let's see what we get. Caveman Mining, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, my dude. You get your build done?
Yeah, I just need to turn it on, though.
Turn on.
Oh, wait.
I
gotta unplug your Antminer.
Oh, simple. Go for it. Go crazy, folks.
Go crazy.
Yeah, the L7 can get unplugged. So it looks like it went down with the memory increase. You like Hive OS or Windows miners like nice hash? We use Hive for the big farm, and then we use Simple Mining like right now for like the testing of this. Let's do 33 on this. And you know, I haven't used Windows in a bit. I used to run the multi-miner on there for you guys just when there was a lot of different tokens to try, which is funny because like a lot of the coins back then were far less profitable even now. And we used to do a lot of that kind of servicing just to try to, you know, help jumpstart any of those networks. But there just really isn't a lot of, everybody's pretty much full on for Ethereum Classic, Flux, Ethereum, and Ravencoin right now is really kind of your core four right now. So that's ETC with a few different settings. Let's take a look at Flux. 80% not possible. 80% of what? %of memory, or power limit. Or fan speed. Yeah, we use for our larger GPU farm, we are using Hive OS. I feel like miners look down on ETC the same way that ETH looks down on miners. Great to hear your input. I mean, ETC had its own issues. ETC, I think, has leaned into the miners a lot better than their original opinions. But I have like a whole little discussion I want to talk about, like with ETC, in relation to, you know, the future state of, you know, most of the ETC network, I'm assuming, is going to be an ASIC network with the ETH ASICs that can be configured for Ethereum Classic when the merge happens, because most of those ETH, like 5 gigahash and 2 gigahash miners, like in a silicon that can handle ETC, they're going to get all the hash rate. All the hash rate's going to be that. So it's going to be interesting to see what if ETC wants to keep it decentralized and not a handful of miners that have, you know, the in a silicone machines and that. I mean, it's going to be interesting because they have a real chance to where most of all their network's going to be ASIC because of that. What kind of witchcraft is this? So we're at 25 souls. It's not real crazy, but the riser power is, this card has only got riser power. This card does not have a 6-pin at all. And this meter right now is measuring that, and it's sitting there right around 45 watts coming off the riser, 100 watts for the full system, which has, you know, that entire full system here. It's a 6-card board with only 1 card plugged into it. That is the Gigabyte GAH110. That was kind of a rare board. There wasn't a lot of those, but it's in our test bench here. And it looks like about 25 souls right now is really kind of where it's coming out at right now. Let's see here. What else do we have configured in here? I think I got Firo set up too. We'll see if it runs. Any thoughts on the hardware software discrepancy and reported wattage? I have another meter that we need to get configured that should be a little more finite on actual capturing the power usage on the riser side. We just don't have it set up yet. And we're going to take that because this meter is essentially a loop meter that's capturing the current and its readings right to this display based on that. I think this is off a little just because this is not, I'm missing about 10 watts that I would expect coming off that riser. But it's been very accurate for a lot of other cards, so it's an interesting, maybe it's just not, something's up with that particular card and ability to, you know, there's some parasitic loss there somewhere. And we need to try to identify it. And that's why I want to have that second meter to test it, because I think I'm missing some stuff here. But this is Firo. Firo's right there at the same as Raven, and it's sitting right at about 13.8 hash. So that's all of those. Anybody that missed any of those A2000s, that's let's see here. I'm on the typer thing here. Let's come over here and let's switch you guys to camera. All right, so that was the A2000. So we have, for anybody else that's joined, we have not tried the guy right there behind me, which is the 3090 Ti. So let's grab this one. And I haven't even opened it. So it's still actually sealed. I saved this for you guys. Got it yesterday. And like a kid in a candy store, wanted to open it, but I actually saved it for you guys. So that kind of guy. So this is the For the Win 3 edition. This just isn't the EVGA black. It's the actually big boy. Actually, this is the black. I thought this was the, oh, it's the For the Win 3 black. It's not the Ultra. So I wanted the Ultra, but this is the For the Win 3 black. But beggars can't be choosers, and this is what was there. And this was $1,999. So get that out there. Come on, good boy. So, RIP headphone users, the Ultra, but we'll go with it. Stickies. And some of this plastic off of this thing. Oh, I should be like doing the whole peel thing right. So the For the Win 3 edition Ultra is all the one that's all lit up, I believe. This one just has, I think, the lights at the top lit up. And it's got the setup here. So this is not the Ultra. This is the black. It's the For the Win 3, but it's not like the top one. Which I thought that was the top one when I grabbed it. But yeah, look at that thing.
That thing's like
It's a
2.5 inches thick.
That thing's a thick boy. It's three den. It's a 3 den. What do we got over there that's kind of big? Just trying to show us perspective. Yeah, I mean, there's a 6900. So y'all know what a 6900 looks like. So that's this guy, and here's 6900 next to it. Let's go sideways. So it's definitely thicker. I mean, there you go. It's the whole shroud overhanging it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, it's a big, thick plate. So what we're gonna do is shut this thing down. Maybe flip this thing around. Come on, over here. We'll shut down this Firo. I was solo mining Firo. I was probably cranking all kinds of blocks. And then what we're gonna do is, let's go this way where you guys can see me kind of set it up. Ooh, this little thing hot. I'll leave that there. Yeah. Look, here's the hilarious thing.
Yeah.
It's like it had a baby.
You can fit 4 of those things in.
Look at the 2000 versus the 3090. That is hilarious. Like, how much more taller that thing is and longer. Like, it's insane. Like, this is a shorty, so if it's lined up on the same PCB, so this would be, this is a shorter card, so like you can't put this just in any PC, right? This is made for the shorter DIN PC. So like if the PCIe IOs are lined up, you can see the delta, how smaller that card is. Like, it's pretty significantly smaller. But I wanted to give you guys that perspective, just because that's just not something you see every day. And thank you guys for dealing with our setup here. We're on a mobile phone right now because if you catch the video later, if you go back to watch the video, you guys will see our studio being set up right now. So we're gonna throw this display port in because we're using the big monitor. Okay, so this uses that unique new connector. Let's see if you guys can see that. Here, it's a very weird pen out here. So it's got that micro, this is a new standard here. So for power. So let's see how this is gonna work for me being able to measure that's the card weight attachment, back plate attachment. Let's see here. This little guy here. Here's what we do with these. So this little, unscrew this little thing up here. Should be able to bar sits underneath that and then sits that card up perfect. So this is the adapter that it comes with for your twin 8-pin, or triple 8-pins, my dudes. So 3 8-pins to a single mini 12-pin. So 6 on each thing, and then it goes to this. All right, so that's gonna make our meter have to do some interesting things, because the meter is set up for 2 8-pins. We're actually gonna have to upgrade this meter, but we're gonna plug this in right here. And then what we're gonna have to do here is, I don't know if this will work. I forgot I switched my cables out. So we have twin 8-pins here, so we could actually have 4 connectors. So where is the other one at? Underneath here. So we got, I forgot I switched these cables out. I was already thinking about it, my dudes. All right, there's one there, and one there. All right. So all of that spaghetti plugged into that single connector. All right, so now let's do this. Let's make sure you guys can see this, and we're gonna come up here. Whoop, other way, backwards. Turn that on. It's lit up. The meter's catching it. Let's go on, found Ubuntu. So this is the riser power right now, is 8 watts. Switch over to the 24, or that little crazy setup there. So it's 24 watts on the 12 to 3 8-pins. And this is the full system wattage. Right now. And let's see if Simple Mining can register. All right, so I'm getting artifacting. So I'm assuming the settings I have right now. Oh, I'm trying to run only 70 watts to it, so it's probably freaking out. So let's try to do 250 watts. Let's do 2300 on the memory and 1500 on the core, and let's just try to reboot it. And let's get it off of Firo. I have to reboot the whole thing. So I think these settings I have are we're gonna take all the settings out of it right now, and we're gonna save it. We're gonna let it go full stock for right now. I'm pretty sure those don't like 70 watts, says Magic. I agree, because we essentially had the same settings the A2000. So let's take a looky here. I tried to force 70 watts to it, and it was just like, no. Starved it.
That's funny.
Well, I had it also at 3500 memory speed, which I think the memory speed is a little off. We're gonna see.
No bueno.
Oh, it doesn't like that for the in the BIOS. Did you get in the BIOS settings?
I did not.
That BIOS settings, you have to switch that over from drive NVMe to PCIe. And that BIOS settings on those RibeTech boards, there is a mountain of settings on that BIOS. Like it's the most detailed BIOS I've ever seen in my life. So let me get in there. Oh, she's running. Woo! Holy hell, she's using 500 watts. And that's just that's out of the box, just no settings. We're using 300 on the 12 pin, and we're using, I about freaked out for a second because it said 198 watts on the riser, but we are using almost 80 watts or almost 90 watts on the riser right now. Yeah, that's a lot on the riser. That is not designed for that. Definitely you would not want to be using a riser with a SATA connector using the 3090 Ti. So this is out of the box, running, no setting changes, and we're pulling a metric crap ton of power. And we're at 113 mega hash, just bone stock. And you can see right here, it says that it's using 400, it thinks. But the reality is it's using more than that because we're at 528 watts. So yes, again, riser, 88. Let's using 277, and it's showing 24 amps at 11.26. So it's actually dropping the voltage down from 12 down a bit, but it's definitely using quite a bit. So let's see if we can play around with this and not melt anything. So the ranges here, I haven't looked up this card at all. So we're gonna play around with some stuff here. So let's go with the original speeds here. Clock show 2025 and 10,000 memory. So let's do 1575 core, and let's do 2000 memory, and let's do 305 on the power. Let's just play around. Let's try to find a baseline because I don't know a ton about this card. So let's. So 2000 on the memory, 305. We've already shaved off a couple hundred on the power or at least 100 and some change there. Well, let's try to bring the memory up now. Let's go to 2300 memory. Keep it at 305 for right now. $114. Let's do 2600. 335. John Flanagan, love your straight up forward content as you're one of the reasons I got into mining. Nice, my dudes. Oh, we're seeing some artifacting here, so we're probably at the top tier of the 2600 memory speed. So we're at 130. 129. But I don't think this is going to be stable. using a ton of power. And we got an incorrect share, which means we're probably a little too high in the memory. We're gonna step it down a notch. We're gonna take it to 2,500, and we're gonna give it 340 here. And do 515. I'm gonna show you guys the numbers. I'm getting to where it looks like we can find a stable setup here. And see, you can see that where I'm kind of coming at. Maybe not, because it's, yeah, you can. 340 watts, 515, 2,500 memory offset. Still getting shares a little wacky. You guys got audio? I'm showing I have audio on my dudes. It's still 128. I still think we're maybe just a little over. Let's do 24, 25. While we're doing that, I'm gonna look a couple things up real quick. All right, we're not felling anymore, my dudes. We're not felling. We fixed the incorrect shares. I think I was just tweaking the memory a little too high. But now we're at 128, pretty solid. And again, this is on Phoenix Miner. A lot of people are showing, oh, you gotta use LOL Miner. You can get like 122, 124. I mean, sometimes there's some advantages on some of those other miners, but I like trying to just go through the gambit and try to find the sweet spots. Looks like we found a good sweet spot. We're not airing out anymore, but we're using a metric. I said those words, my dudes, and we got an incorrect share. So we still haven't, it didn't process it all the way. So we're getting some memory errors here. Still, let's try to fix that. Let's take this down to 2375. Save that. Yeah, right now the thing is like it's like a little heater. Still showing some errors. We did get a good share this time, but we still have a bad share. We don't want those. We don't want these. Which just means we're cooking it. We're not where we need to be. Let's try 2275. Let's take this up to 1600. Could be a couple things that give you that. It could be too much on the memory. It could also be starving the GPU when it comes to like the core. Sometimes you can get that. Let's see if we can get some good shares. Yeah, we could set up. I see somebody commenting about having SSL. You can run SSL. It's no problem. If you're just using single devices and stuff, man, you use SSL. Big mining farms, sometimes the SSL can get in some issues. On our large farm with 330 rigs coming out of the same proxy, SSL can get a little saturated. We still haven't got a valid share yet. So that's a long time running without a valid share. We should be just pumping out good shares. There's a share. There's another. All right, so I think we got the 2275 memory speed, 1600 core. Still using way too much power. Let's start starving power now. So what I was trying to do, guys, is I tried to establish like an upper bound. I tried to max it out to where I can then step it down. And then I can go through and step down. Now we're getting tons of good shares. We're not getting any bad shares. Everything's good. So then I will then start working through, because now I've established essentially, at least for me, what settings have worked good for my card, which is 1600, 2275, and the 340. So I'm going to start stepping this down, and with that I'll start taking down the core, and I'm going to see how far I can get it down on this 3090 Ti to where we can start peeling off some of this power, because we're still using a metric ton of power. This is the GPU itself. That's the 12 pin to the 3 8-pins. It's using about 231 watts. And then on the riser, we're using about 74 watts on the riser right now. So still over 300 and 360 or so of that 400 is coming on this card. Yeah, 380. Yeah, this says 330, but it looks like I'm using about 360 on the card. Let's take this down now and try to go to 305 watts and save that. So I got the 1600 with the 2275 memory. You can see that here. And then let's see, now taking it to 305 watts. Let's try to step her down and see how far we can go. So we're still now pulling, still 126. We dropped from 127. Oh, that dropped a lot. Let's see if it pumps back up past. So 305 watts, we just starved the crap out of it. Somebody goes, oh God, you're using Phoenix miner. I can use a different miner if you guys want a different miner. You're gonna get some better hash rates on some, let's see here. We'll switch out the miner. Let's give it a whirl with not have, I just rebuilt this profile. You can add another let's do group config. Copy, new group config. ETH. We'll try the latest LOL miner. $148. I'm setting it up, my dudes. Hold on. Copy this. Paste that. Almost there, my dudes. I'm gonna copy my address, and it's good to go. Paste. And this goes away. Let's try that. Rig. And save. And let's make sure I did that. Pulling the miner down. LOL miner inbound. Still using a metric ton of power. Yeah, I think it's just power hungry, man. It's not liking. So 305 is not it. Let's try 315. And for all the people that are freaking out that I was using Phoenix Miner, LOL Miner is giving us the same result. It did not like a quick fresh reboot. So let's let it restart that miner. Or I can restart the machine. All right, while that thing's trying to figure its life out, we'll pivot real quick, flip the camera around, flip it back up. So we're gonna have, we have a couple different videos. This is the 3090. Obviously, we're gonna do a deeper dive test on it. We're gonna do a couple other things and then wrap this video up. We've been going for about an hour, but we have a couple things coming up. We have I'm gonna be doing a live stream with the head of Rocket Pool, which is an ETH2 staking pool. I'm going to be having just a conversation about ETH2, merge, all that kind of stuff. And then if we can, I'm going to try to get another meeting with developers on ETH2, both on the research side and then have one on the protocol side. Because I want to see really in their different opinions, like where they think they're at. So you guys are going to want to, if you're not liking and subscribing and sharing for that, you're missing out on life, my dudes, because we're going to have a good conversation. I want to get with the developers to have kind of where their mind's at with this, and then just kind of talk my concerns with it, just as a project leader, developer myself, and just looking at large projects. I've deployed a lot of big projects before, and I know that risk, and I know what they're having to deal with, along with all the press and everybody else that they're having to deal with right now, on where things are at. Just, it's all in everybody's best interest that if you're building in ETH, if you invest in ETH, if you deployed hardware on ETH, that this has to go right. It can't go wrong. So just this isn't something they're going to YOLO into. So if you're a miner on ETH right now, you know, it doesn't look like they're going to make their summer date. I mean, just right now, there's no way. They would have to have already been code frozen. Everybody's on the same page. They're going through all of their testing, both on the ETH2 side and ETH1 protocol side. That is not occurring. The protocol side is doing test nets, shadow merges. They're trying different game theory things on the research side, but the ETH protocol side still has a lot of client development and client tech debt. So until when I see Peter and some of the client, the Geth client folks that are on the protocol layer 1, that are like, yeah, we're good. When I see them saying they're good and their code is frozen, and then they're participating in those test phases, then you're a lot closer, but you're still not right away. So we'll have that kind of discussion. I know a lot of people are kind of really wanting that, but I don't want to just speculate on it. I want to have Ethereum developers, if they'll get on the call with me or a video with me, and we'll have a back and forth. They're welcome to come out to BBT East. I'd love to have a conversation with them, or we can just do it remote, and that's fine too. But it means a lot to a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have a lot of capital invested in this, not just in mining equipment. So, and they're gonna want to have a good conversation. So this thing's running in the right now. Let me switch this around for you guys. So it's at 315 watts. All I did is change the wattage pool. We're still using full system over 400 watts on this thing, and 70 on the riser, and about 220 on the 12 pin to 3 8-pin connector, and it looks like we're at about 122. So let's juice this up a little more. Let's give it 340. So all I'm doing is going in here and changing the power to 340 from 315. Let's see what we get here when we do that. If you had 32 ETH when it goes to proof of stake, I wonder how much ETH a day you would make. You would make not very much. The distribution divides by about 90%. Like it drops down. So if you were earning 0.01 ETH, you go 0.001 ETH essentially. So it uses a method. So BBT Todd's back over, doing some crazy stuff in the back room. We'll probably see in another video, but we're up to 126 mega hash on it, and it uses a metric ton of power. And when I steal power from it, it just drops mega hash. So it's just right now it's setting to 340 on the power limit. 229 on the, it's got a 12 pin to 3 8-pin connector. It's a very weird connector. And then it's using about almost 80 watts on the riser. And it's at 126 right now, using 433 full system, one card. This is not an LHR card, so there is that. Let's take a look at Let's give it the beans. What's the TDP on this card? 500. Let's throw the book at it. Oh no, power range is 480. So TDP at 480. Let's redo this at 480. Let's just throw the book at it. We're at 2275 memory offset. We're at 1600 core offset. And we're now giving it 480 watts. So this is, I don't think we have the numbers. I don't think I have the core high enough. But we're gonna give it the beans for a minute and just keep sending her. This has got a full send test, my dudes. So full send test. 126. We're not using that much more power, but now we're gonna go a little nutty. Let's take it to 1900 core. Let's keep the memory at 2275 because it started kind of artifacting on me when I was a little higher than that. So we're bringing the core up just because it seems like it starves that core some. I want to see if we can actually throw the proverbial beans at it. Definitely using more power there. And still 126.75. Let's do 2375. We're going to take the memory up by 100 watts. Let's see if we start artifacting any. No artifacts yet. You know, when you don't have anything on this thing uses over 500 watts of power. 127.35, so we're definitely coming up on the memory speed. $127.46. And so let's try, I think we're at that 127, 128 speed. Let's try like Raven or something. Let's try Raven G minor and see what she can do. Woo! Look at that power. DAG has been damaged. Check those overclock settings. This is what it says here. Let's take this down to 2275. Let's bring the memory down. We're gonna hold 1950 on the core. Oh, whoa, boys. 650, 660. 660. Holy crap. We're blinking the meter out. The riser's freaking out here. 106. It's causing the meter to trip out. 65 mega hash. This baby is using 630 watts. Look at the card saying that it's using 438, but there's no way this motherboard's using 200. So this meter's either misreading this or this thing's using almost 600 plus watts. And we're at 65.54 watts. That efficiency is terrible. We want to be over 200. That thing's running on 120V. Don't burn down your 120 can handle it. You can run a lot more. These are 20 amp 120s. We're good. It's using way. I'm feeding the beans to it. It doesn't need to have that much power going to it. Let's step it down to 340. And let's see if it's how, so I'm taking the power down a lot. Take it down to 140 watts. It was 65.54 on Raven. It's 660 watts. Yeah, I'm dropping the power. I think it's hilarious. And the meter started blinking. Like it was like freaking out. So yeah, dropping it to 300 watts. It brings up our efficiency some, but we're still only at 48 here. I'd like to see that a lot higher. 2100 on the core, maybe.
Do a lot of warm up for that
I
thing.
mean, we're using 400 watts. It's definitely going to put off some heat. We could try 350 watts. 2100 memory, or 2100 core. Let's check 350. The blinking in the meter was crazy. So he's like, it's like a whole server rack of miners. One card. It is a whole bunch of 6600s. So are you a little better on efficiency? I mean, I think this is gonna be like one that I would have to spend a lot of time playing around with. I'm gonna tell you right now, the answer is probably not good. And I probably wouldn't be buying 3090 Ti's for mining. It just economically doesn't make any sense. This is 51. You can get a 3080 Ti to these numbers. 3080 Ti's you can get to a 55, 56 mega hash for a little more wattage, but it's still just not that efficient. I mean, you throw in the kitchen sink at it, and it's just. Let's take a glancey real quick at Flux. How much the VRAM does the Ti have? It has 24 gigabyte. JWM, I'm talking about Ravencoin. Ravencoin's 56 mega hash on Ravencoin. So we're at 91 souls. That's still pretty low considering this card. I'd like to see 100 souls on this thing. A lot of this is optimization too. Like it's just the miner not being optimized for the output of this GPU. It's like the RTX 2080 Ti being like a Flux beast. I'm gonna do an Ergo one, guys, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. It's been a solid hour and a half with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this content. Let's try Ergo. Next generation GPUs made in NVIDIA. I'm ready for looking at some Intel GPUs. I want to do some testing on some Intel GPUs. $269 mega hash on Ergo. No, it's not bad. And that's what that looks like that's at. So we're gonna slap this bad boy back on some ETH. I'm gonna try to bring it down some. Let's take this down to 1500 or 1575 core. 350 on the memory. Let's just let it roll on ETH tonight, and we'll do a longer term test on ETH tonight. LO miner just crashed again like it always does. And people wonder why I was using Phoenix miner earlier. I'm getting the same hash rate on Phoenix, and I don't have this crash issue with like LO miner after restarting from another algorithm. So we'll let that restart, and we'll start to wrap this up, my dudes. So it was fun. Hope you guys liked it. We got a lot of different testing with it. I like trying to push the boundaries on stuff. And yeah, we'll get back to you guys. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Check the content. If you're not following us on Twitter, you're doing it wrong. You need to get out there and follow us. And yeah, let's take a look at a few other settings with these cards. We still got the A5000, and it got a 6000 on the way, and then we got another 3090 Ti coming that we had tested. I didn't realize I was going to walk into one when I was at Micro Center last night, so I just bought it. But we'll test. We're going to test a couple different things, and then we're going to publish all of our stuff out on the site. And you guys will see kind of a recap video of this for the people that just don't have time to watch, an hour and a half live stream and click through stuff. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.